This is MRN Crew Call, brought to you by Hercules Tires.
How about that race at Indy? Crazy, wild, absolutely amazing. And when we got done, we had a first-time winning team with Kaulig Racing getting the win. AJ Allmendinger getting his second win. Now, I'm crazy and wild as all right. Flying race cars and wadded up race cars. I'm never really a big fan of that, but it was quite the adventure at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And when we got done, as we mentioned, AJ Allmendinger was the winner with Kaulig Racing. And we're going to talk with the president of Kaulig Racing, Chris Rice, here today. This is Crew Call. I'm Steve Post, Motorsports or MRN Radio Pit Road reporter. And this is Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. And Chris Rice, a tremendous background in the sport. His mother, Kathy, she runs through the balance of this year, South Boston Speedway. His father, Alan, I think when Chris was 4 or 5 years old, he formed his own race team up in that area. So Chris has been around racing his whole life. He's climbed the ladder with the Sadler Boys, Richard Petty Motorsports, Bill Davis Racing, Rab Racing, and a few other teams. And in 2016, he partnered up with Matt Kaulig at Kaulig Racing. 2018, he was named president. And today, he joins us here on Crew Call.
For decades, Dryden Lubricants has been made in America and made to last, paving the way on our highways, in our fields, and on the production line. Today, Dryden offers a complete line of engine oils, greases, hydraulic and transmission fluids, and diesel exhaust fluid. If you want greater performance and protection for your critical engines and equipment, go to Dryden.com. Dryden, American-owned and operated, and a proud supporter of racing and race fans everywhere. Flow Racing is the home of grassroots racing, with over 1,300 races streaming live in 2021. Watch the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl, World 100, Dirt Late Model Dreams, Sweet 16, and much, much more. Subscribe today by going to flowracing.com/MRN. From sprint cars on dirt to SK Modifieds on pavement, arena cross, drag racing, and everything in between, it's here live and on demand. Subscribe today by going to flowracing.com/MRN. That's FLOracing.com/MRN.
Joining us now here on Crew Call is the president of Kaulig Racing, Chris Rice. Hello, Chris. Welcome into Crew Call, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And as I always say, I love MRN and I love what you guys do for NASCAR and all our fans. And thank you for having me. I'm kind of excited to be here.
Yeah, kind of excited, I would think is the case. Congratulations. I mean, well, look at the mug. Okay, look at the mug if you're watching this. I know a lot of you are listening, but you're watching it. Just took a big old sip out of an Indianapolis Motor Speedway mug. Dude, what a journey you're on. Just describe a few days later here what it's like now to be with Kaulig Racing.
Man, as I sit in awe still, I'm finally realizing that we actually won at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but we also won a cup race, right? And my wife has probably been the biggest supporter that I've ever had in my life, with my dad, my mom, and my whole family. But we lay down in bed last night, and I know that's a little tough, but and she goes, do you really understand what happened this weekend? And I said, no, I really don't. I don't get it. I don't, I'm tired. I don't know. And, I just cold chills come over me and I go, man, the people that have believed in Chris Rice, the people that have believed in Matt Kaulig, for an owner to walk in this sport and just say, oh, I'm going to go racing. And I go, well, how are we going to get people? And he allows me to run it like it's mine. And, I'm part of it and invested in it. And to go out and win a cup race and be in the names that we're in. I'm watching all the social media stuff and I see the names that we're in for the first win. And I mean, Hendrick Motorsports, SHR, Roush. I mean, all these names, Richard Childress Racing. I mean, it just blows me away. And I don't even know where to start, Postman. I think when I walk in at Michigan and all my colleagues and everybody that I've been around all my life, tells you good job. And you just look back on what happened on Sunday for AJ Allmendinger, right? Let's think about the journey AJ's had. We forget about that. And for him, it just gives me cold chills. And I want to sit here and not really cry, but just soak in the moment talking to you and all the people I've talked to so far.
It is absolutely amazing. It really truly is when you think about it. And I actually want to go back 2016. You get a call. Somehow you're hooked up with a guy named Matt Kaulig who wants to go racing. We've seen 150 guys want to go racing. We've heard all the stories. We've heard all the song and dance. Why was this one the one that just seemed to work so well for you back then?
Well, I had spent a lot of time with different drivers, different teams. We have built a team, and Kenny Wallace drove for us, and John West Townley drove for us. We had Alex Bowman, and I had been very faithful, and it was just a time. My family and I just decided it was a time to come back home. So I came back to where Harvick's old shop was, and NTS was in it. And I seen where that was going, right? Like I seen that it was that not really dying. It was just a time for Bob Newberry to get out of the sport. His kid wasn't racing anymore. And I'm a realist. I really am. And I was probably getting ready to do something else that I'm not even going to talk about because Matt says, don't talk about that. But I was going to do something else out of the sport. My dad owned a business. My mom run the racetrack, and I'm pretty entrepreneurial. I don't have enough guts to go spend a ton of money on stuff, but Matt Kaulig, Blake Cook, we met with Matt Kaulig in May or something, and I just laid it out. I actually took a piece of paper, kind of like what I'm working on right here with these pit crews. I'm not going to even show you that. I took a piece of paper and I laid out what it would cost, and he called me 2 weeks later and goes, "No, it's too much money." About October 30th, 31st, he calls me on my cell phone. Blake had given my number, and him and I, we'd stay in contact. I'd seen him at the racetrack. Those guys wanted me to come down to TriStar and do some with them, but I was there again. I was going to be driving a long ways from my house, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm getting older. It's time for me to look at Chris Rice. What can Chris Rice do?" And Matt calls me then and goes, "Hey, you want to start a race team?" And I go, I tell this story a lot, and I go, "Dude, it's October 30th or whatever day it was right there." I said, "I don't think we can do it." He says, "Okay." The leader he is, right? He's an amazing leader. Has taught me so much. And he goes, "Okay, but I'm gonna get somebody to do it. We're gonna start a race team." I said, "Hold on a second. Yeah, let's go do this. Let's figure it out." We talked for 5 or 10 minutes. He says, "Well, call me later. I gotta go." And I went to a guy that's still working with me now, a couple guys that's still working with me now. I said, "Hey, we're gonna start a race team." And we did. And we started when we didn't have nothing. I went to the Snowball Derby. I fulfilled my duties at NTS. I fulfilled my duties with Spencer Davis. We went to the Snowball Derby, qualified 6th. Only time I'd ever been there. We were running like 9th and broke. And when I got back from Snowball Derby, I started working in Kaulig Racing. We didn't have nothing. We didn't have a shop. We didn't have a wrench. We didn't have nothing. I'd figured out the Alliance program, but other than that, we didn't have anything. Proceed to make the playoffs, almost make the Final Four, and really dig ourselves into building a new building or buying a building, building on to that, going through all the drivers we went through. I say all, we haven't been through that many, and doing the things we've done is something that we'll probably write a book about one day. We went to Dover our first year, and we didn't have lights in our shop because we had to move shops. And we went up there and we finished, I want to say 8th. Our guys have prevailed. Everybody, girls, guys, everybody has prevailed. We've kept great partners like Hyper Ice, you see behind me, Leaf Filter Gutter Protection, Nutrient Solutions, all the partners we have. We've kept them happy. We do it a little different than everybody else. And we're going to continuously do it that way. We're going to do it different. And it's working. It's just probably a new evolution of the sport, probably.
You say different. What sort of things, Chris? You've been around the sport for a long time. I've been around the sport for a long time, and I see some of it. But what are some of the key differences in the approach that you guys have?
We have fun. You watch my social media; it's not fake. We have fun. That is our goal, to have fun. In racing, you get miserable pretty quick. I watched Jeff Burton on Saturday. AJ finishes 2nd, Justin finishes 3rd, Jeff Burton finishes 23rd. And I watch him, hang his head. But it's not about that one race. It's not about that one finish. It's about the program you're building. What do you want to look back on and figure out where you can be better, the things you can do better? we're going to have fun. I mean, I walked down that Cup grid the other day, and Matt and I did, and I look and I go, you know what? We're running Cup. We've ran 6 races this year. We've qualified. When we got to qualify, we've been in the top 10 for every single one of them. We've made the final round for every single one of them. We're, I think now we only have 2 finishes outside of the top 10 in Cup out of those races. We've won a race. So I look around and I watch how they do it. And those guys are very successful. The Roger Penske's, the Hendricks, those guys. And I watch how they do it and try to simplify it. That's all I try to do. I don't think anybody does it wrong. I just try to simplify it. So if you call Kaulig Racing, you want to come to race here, you're calling Chris Rice. You're talking to Chris Rice. I let my crew chiefs do what they do. We sit down, we meet about it, and we roll on. Cup car, I let my crew chief do the things he needs to do. He don't need to go through a competition director. He don't need to go through, different channels. Now I know the bigger we get, obviously that changes, but we're still going to have fun with it. We're not going to sit here and be miserable that we run 20th on Sunday. We're going to figure out how to be better. We're competitors, right? So you're going to have some sort of that anxiety, but we're going to figure out how to be better.
You struck on something that is one of my soapbox pet peeves in our sport. It is, and you're right, everyone works so hard. It is easy to get miserable in this sport. It is easy to get frustrated in this sport. We're all tired, okay? That's understandable. But how big of a challenge is it to keep the fun factor in there? There are times when I walk down pit road, I think I'm the only one having a good time here. How challenging is it to keep it upbeat and to keep everyone digging, even with those 23rd place finishes like you deal in, and everyone being so competitive?
It used to be a lot harder, I think, man, when you didn't have social media. Now you have social media and all the families watch you. They know what you're doing. So if you keep the families understanding that their husbands or their wives is working at a great place, and that it's not about what happened this week, it's about what's going to happen, it's a lot easier. I will tell you, I wake up every morning and my thing is smile, right? I walked through Indianapolis Motor Speedway this week, probably the most fans we've had in a long time. And I probably had, 100, 200 people go, keep smiling, Chris. So I'm affecting someone's life every day that I say that, whether it's 5 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And, it's not fake. Don't be fake. Just, you're going to have bad days. I got to be the boss at some point, right? So just let the people know that you have their backs, that you support what they're doing, let them do their job, and you'll be successful. You got to have great race car drivers. You got to have great partners and sponsors. You got to have a great owner. You got to have a great manager. But at the end of the day, show them that you got their back. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to do things that we want to do better at. I look at AJ Allmendinger, the first stage at Indianapolis. He made a mistake lap 1, ruined his whole entire first stage. He rebounded. We decided to go for playoff points because we know it matters. Well, it probably ended up costing us the race. But you know what? That's what we decided to do. I got those guys' backs, whether every social media, every person in the world says, that's the wrong thing to do. I woke up Sunday morning and I made a post. And I said, I thought we had a great race. We decided to do what we're going to do, and we're going to live and die by it. And we're going to learn to be better. So you just show them that they got their back, and you smile at them. When I walk through here, when I come in, I walk through here and I fist bump everybody. I try to smile at them. I try to show them that, hey, it's a great day. We get to do what we love. I don't know what you have going on at home, but we get to do what we love. You get to make money for your kids or your wives or whatever. And you just show them that you have their back and that you can have a good time at your workplace. You can enjoy it. You can, at the same time, be competitive. And that's the key. If you're running 15th every week, if we were running 15th every week, we'd probably be having a different conversation, but we still would probably be trying to have, I know we would, not probably, we would definitely be trying to have fun.
Such a key, such a big part of it. That is for sure. I want to talk about AJ just a little bit. You talked about in your first answer what a journey he's been on from IndyCar to NASCAR to in the sport to out of the sport to I'm done with the sport to TV and back part-time. What a journey this guy's been on, and I just love what an integral part of your company he has become.
You know, the day I met AJ Allmendinger, well, let me back up. I watched AJ Allmendinger, and I was doing some NASCAR.com stuff, you know, talking on their the TV and stuff like that. And I always criticized AJ. I did. I said, if AJ can get his head put together, he have a shot to win, but he can't get his head put together. So first off, he's got to get his head put together. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe that. He sat out in my office the first time, and I told him that. I said, hey, I truly think you have the most talent of anybody coming up. I said, but you don't have it between your ears. And I think he took that personal, and he appreciated what I said. And we became really, really good friends. Really, really good friends. He does have it between his ears. I was wrong. And I tell him that all the time. I was completely wrong. But he needs that guy or that woman or that person always having his back, always telling him that it's okay, that you're not that bad. You are good. You are important to the process. He's taken Justin Haley under his wing. Okay. Justin Haley's not somebody you walk up to and going to have a 20-minute conversation with. He's just not that guy. He's taken him under his wing and made him a better race car driver, made him a better person. He's made him overall better, right? Like, so we've made AJ better, but at the same time, he's made us a tremendous amount better. And it's a process every day to have a conversation with him, show him how much you love him, show him how great he is, and let him be part of Kaulig Racing. Let him make some decisions on setups. Let him be, you know, I mean, our road course program was okay when we started, and now it's great. You know, it's really good at every road course race we go to. Our speedway program, a 1.5 mile program is better. So you let him know that he is very, very important to you, and that makes him so much better. He's a very smart guy. I play golf with him a lot right now because we go to a lot of sponsor things, and a lot of people want to, you know, see us because, I mean, COVID hit, nobody got to see us. So we go a lot of places. That dude treats his golf game like he does racing, and he'll get mad in a minute, and I'll go, dude, that club don't matter throwing it. Like, keep it in your hand. Like, all you're doing is costing you more money. I know it makes me feel better. I said, well, it scares me because it goes zooming by my head. So, yeah, we get to laughing about it all the time. We played golf the other day, Postman, and listen to this. We had 0 club throws.
Wow. Progress. That's awesome. So is when you guys are both on your A game, who's the better golfer?
Oh, by far him. Like, not even close. Yeah. You know why I'm not a good golfer?
Why is that?
Because I'm working. I don't play golf. He's a good golfer because he's playing golf and not working.
That's it. I want to talk about your other drivers too. Let's talk a little bit about Justin Haley. To me, and you guys have announced you've got the 2 charters going into the Cup Series. Justin's going to be in one of those cars. What are the qualities that to me, it's like you've got AJ over here doing his deal. Jeb's the new kid. It seems to me like Justin is kind of your solid rock right now. What is Justin Haley to Kaulig Racing?
Well, Justin came in here, and you got to remember, and we are very smart, I think, in doing things. Justin showed up. We had Nick Harrison as his crew chief. We lost Nick Harrison. So, man, that's a season that's washed, right? Like, and he got some laps in his belt, and he really wasn't. I mean, our spots on average was about 2 or 3 spots better. The next year we were 2 or 3 spots better than that. And then he had fired off this year, and man, he was like on fire, top 5s all the time. Not finishing there, but that's where he was running. Then he had to sit out for COVID, and then we announced the deal. And here in the last little bit, I know you see it on social media, his streak. The thing about Justin Haley that we love is he's very low maintenance. And he normally brings your race cars back in one piece so you can make them better. But also, he'll have a great time with the sponsors. He'll have a great time with the family. And he will be a pleasure to be around most of the time. But that's everybody, right? Most of the time. So he's somebody that you can mold for Kaulig Racing and make them just like AJ Allmendinger is. Think about Justin Haley. He's 22 years old. AJ, I think this year turns 40. So we got to have somebody, right? Like, I mean, we want AJ to be with us until he wants to retire. But when is that? Does he want to retire at 45? Does he want to retire at 50? Like, when is that? So you got to have somebody that can take that fold. And plus, you know, being able to get a couple of charters that Justin was involved with. It's no secret that, you know, we have a bond with Justin, Todd Braun, Spire, those guys that we were able to purchase 2 charters, which we wanted to go cup racing. And I don't know if you know this or not, but you can't buy them. Not like going to Walmart. Like you just really can't get them. So it's a little bit of love. They're throwing back our way. We throw a little bit of love back their way to run Justin Haley.
Nice stuff. That's kind of how this goes. Finally, your third driver over on the Xfinity Series program that you have is Jeff Burton. In your background, you were born in South Boston, Virginia. The Burton family has been such a rich part of the heritage up there, the culture up there. You know, obviously Ward is dad. You have a long backstory with Ward. What did that mean to you to be able to give this hard-working kid, and Jeff Burton worked harder to get a ride than anybody I know. What does that mean to you? And then to have success with him along the course of this season?
Well, it meant a lot to me because I remember sitting at my hometown thinking about I helped Jeff Burton and Ward Burton. And I always thought, man, they need to give back to their hometown, right? Like, and one day I would love to be able to have enough money to give back to my hometown, but to be able to give jobs to people that might have come from South Boston, now giving Jeb a chance in the race car, it's just you're giving back to where I made my start with my dad, my uncle, my mom. And it just shows that you're never forgetting about where you come from. And my dad always told me that. Don't forget about where you come from. Because the day you do that is the day when you're going to start failing. So I always know that South Boston Speedway is my home track. South Boston Speedway is where I grew up. I grew up in South Boston. I had many, many good times in South Boston. And I had over 400 text messages after the race that Sunday. I replied to every one of them, every single one of them. It took me until last night to get through them, but I replied to every single one of them. And I would say 50 of those come from people from South Boston, whether I went to school with them, went different places. And that makes me proud that they know that I'm giving back to that community when I can. So giving back to Jeff Burton is something else that just goes further, giving back to South Boston. Now, is it a challenge? Absolutely. And Jeb would tell you the same thing, because Jeb's never been in a situation where he has somebody that supports him the way we do, but also has teammates that support him. So he's been trying to figure that out. And, Jeb does an amazing job with his sponsors and his partners and keeping all of that. And then we're getting him to separate that from the racing side of it. And that's where, Brett Griffin and myself talk about this all the time. When he gets done with the school of Chris Rice and Brett Griffin, he's going to be a better driver, a better person. And that's what our plan is with him. And for him to win his first race with us, he's in the top 7, 8 in driver points. To do what he's done shows that, hey, we got his back. We're gonna have good fast race cars for him. And he's gonna go to Michigan this weekend, and he's got to get back going, having his top 10s streaks, having his top 5. So when we get into playoffs, he's ready to roll.
Get him going, get some momentum there. You mentioned, just particularly during that last answer, South Boston Speedway. The backstory on Chris is dad owned and fielded race cars for a long time. His mother, Kathy, is one of my favorite people to talk racing with and to hang out with, and one of the most respected promoters in the sport. Your mom, South Boston Speedway, she's been there forever, it seems like, but she's in her final season, kind of her retirement tour, if you will, of South Boston Speedway. Are they treating her well up there? And she's got to be looking forward to some Saturday nights, maybe being there, but not being the chief cook and bottle washer, if you will.
My dad's, we sold his business, and I would say it took him a year and a half to get over that. He still goes up there and helps Marcus Richmond, and I think he builds all his sheet metal when he wants to. Right. So when my mom, I had really long conversations with them, like I did. We lost my father-in-law, and he never got to enjoy his life. Never really, he worked until the day we put him in the hospital. And then that's a true story. And when my mom and dad sat down and I said, hey, it's time to retire. And we looked at financials and we looked at everything, and we just, like, I comforted her in making her understand that she can make it. Like, I'm going to work all my life. You can make it. You can do whatever you need to do. I got you, like 100%, whatever you need to do. And we comfort her, and not that she needs me, but I wanted to make sure she knew it. And she said, well, I want to do it my way. I'm like, well, that's shocking, right? Like, really? I mean, like, seriously. And when she said she always had to give Nick Adowski, which owns Pocono, a year notice. I said, well, okay, give me a year notice. I said, but you need to do it sooner than later. So she called me over Christmas. I had COVID, so she couldn't come see me. And she said, I need to talk to you. So she called me with FaceTime or whatever, and I was fine. Like, I mean, but I didn't want her around me. And she said, I'm gonna retire. I'm giving him my notice, December 31st. I'm like, good. She said, that's all you got to say? I'm like, yeah. I said, good. This year has been great for her because she's went through the depression side of losing the racetrack. Not really losing the racetrack, but not being the boss person. You know, she's got a couple of people that's going to take over. But it's been good for her. She sees that her legacy is still there, and it always will be. I kind of know what Nick's got going on. We're going to have a race on September the 4th. I'll leave Darlington probably around 5 o'clock, no matter whether they're racing or not. I'm going to jump on a little airplane and fly up there for her retirement race. Basically, it's a appreciation night for Kathy Rice. And if you're listening to this and you can go to South Boston Speedway, please do, because that'll be a lot of fun. But you know, that night I'll probably hit her, and then probably in March when they go back racing. But she'll always be a consultant. She'll always have that. She's went on the back straightaway and tried to sit back and drink a couple glasses of wine during the race. And she told me, she said, I went back there last week, and about 15 minutes back there, they text me and I had to go back to my office. I said, Lord have mercy. Go back there and sit for a minute, please. So it's been good. They're treating her well. Nick Adowski is an amazing person. The Adowski family is amazing. I couldn't have been happier for her to work with somebody like that, because, Postman, you're only as good as what your last job or last episode or whatever you've done, right? And that's what you remember. And she's going to remember how great those people were to her, how great the fans were to her. And that's all that matters to me, truthfully. You know, my mom and dad are special to me and always will be. And I'm very fortunate to have them still around. So I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she's getting to do it her way. And she's getting to see it last season. And hopefully when they get to finish the season and COVID don't hit.
Yeah, there's that. We're all dealing with. Your mom, like I said, was one of my favorite people. Final question for you here as we look at the landscape now. You guys have Xfinity Series full-time, 3 cars, 2 of them with wins, the other one with Justin, really, really good shape. So it looks like you're going to be playoff racing, but you guys are also starting to build a cup program. And of course, with the cup program, we're talking new generation race car and everything. How is the juggling act going, or how's it going to go over the next 10 or so weeks as you guys tend to what's on the table in front of you, but what you need to do to get ready for next year as well?
Got a lot of great people. First off, I want to say that first off, got a lot of great people, but I had a little anxiety a couple of weeks ago, and there goes my wife again, helping me out. And I'm like sitting there and I'm going, I have no idea how I'm gonna get it all done. And she had a good statement. She says, you always have, and you always will, just believe. So it's going great. Obviously the hurdles are the hurdles, right? Like, we still have hurdles of getting race cars. We still have hurdles of getting people. We still have hurdles of, you know, sponsors and partners and different things like that. But the thing we don't have is the fun factor. We don't have that hurdle. So it's going good. We've hired people already. We've put them through our system here. Not really teaching them, but showing them how we do it. We're going to do it the same way. Our programs are going to be like this. That's going to be our programs, Postman. Xfinity and Cup. It's not going to be one, then the other. They're going to be like this. Our Cup car is sitting out here right now that we won with. We're going to have win lunch here in just about, I don't know, 30 minutes. No, an hour. And we're going to enjoy it. We're going to be one team fielding the amount of cars that we're going to field, you know, from Cup to Xfinity to mini stocks to whatever we field, right? Like, but we're going to be one team, and so it's going good. Everybody's buying into the system that we're hiring. You know, anybody that has trailers or trucks or anything like that, send them my way. That's the only other hurdle we might have. But it's going great. Really excited. Hopefully in the near future, announce some more plans and some more things for some partners and different things that we got on the horizon. Just really excited, man. NASCAR is great right now. I'm telling you, it's a great sport to be in. They are very aggressive with what they're doing. And we're very fortunate to be in that sport. It's paid my living. It's been my living for many, many years. And I'm very proud to be here, very proud to have a best friend as Matt Kaulig and be able to run Kaulig Racing and hunt trophies. You know, we got 11 wins in 5.5 years, 1 Cup win. Pretty exciting.
Exciting for sure. That is for sure. Chris, we truly appreciate you taking some time today in between. I saw it was a celebration breakfast this morning with the whole RCR gang, now celebration lunch. And I know you've got a Twitter poll on how long do we celebrate. So I know at least it's through Wednesday, but in all seriousness, congratulations and thanks for joining us here on Crew Call.
Well, absolutely. And as always, I love my fans and I love to make them smile, so make sure they smile. But how long do you celebrate, Postman?
I don't know. It's your first Cup win. I think, you know, there are times we still talk about Jeff Bodine winning for Rick Hendrick back whenever. They've still been celebrating that for a lot of years. So I don't think you're close to it yet.
Yeah, see, and that's something even like XM or, you know, Channel 90, NASCAR 90, they could put up there. Hey, how long do you celebrate your first win or your win in general? So thank you for having me. I love you guys. Thank you for always putting NASCAR up front and having a great radio show. When I was a kid, my dad would turn the radio on and turn the TV down. We'd watch TV and the radio would be on. So that's the way I watched it. But thank you. I appreciate you guys.
There we go. We love it. We love to turn the volume on the TV down, turn the volume on the radio up. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate it. That's Chris Rice, the president up at Kaulig Racing.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Ford has put the stock back in Stock Car, and now you can register for your chance to be Ford Performance's VIP guest and watch the NASCAR Next Gen Mustang hit the track for the first time in 2022. One grand prize winner and their guest will receive a trip for 2 to Daytona Beach with VIP access, Ford Performance driver meet and greets, round-trip airfare, and more. Register now through November 7th at FordNextGen.com. That's FordNextGen.com.
It's an exciting time in the car business. It really, truly is. I have a lot of friends in the industry, and the electric era is here. And Ford is in the midst of implementing an ambitious and comprehensive plan to make the transition to an electric lifestyle very easily. Between now and 2025, Ford is investing $22 billion in electrification to lead electrification in the areas of strength in the automotive industry. The company is electrifying also its most iconic products, including the Mustang, the F-150, and the Transit, with many more to come in years ahead. Now, you can learn more. You can go to www.ford.com and click on Electrified. The tab there, one of the things you'll see is the new all-electric F-150 Lightning. It's the first ever F-Series that's gas-free and delivers trusted Ford-built tough capabilities. Really, really neat. I was poking around on that site, on the Ford site, and electrification is coming. It's a big part of what we're doing, a big part of the automotive industry, and where it ties into the NASCAR world as well. We're going to see how that goes, but check it all out at www.ford.com. MRN.com. And let's see, it's electrified is the tab that you need to look for. Electrifying action is what we're going to have this weekend. Motor Racing Network is very, very busy. We're at 2 different racetracks. At Michigan, it's the ARCA Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series. And at Gateway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series playoffs begin. Wow, that's going to be big. That's Friday night. And Friday night, we do have a doubleheader. How about that? A rare Friday night doubleheader. 6 p.m., the ARCA Menard Series, the Henry Ford Health System 200 from Michigan. And then at 8:30 Eastern Time, it is the Toyota 200 presented by CK Power for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Doesn't seem possible, but the truckers are playoff racing starting on Friday night, just outside of St. Louis. Saturday, 2:30 Eastern Time, the NASCAR Xfinity Series is the headliner. It's the New Holland 250. And on Sunday, the second to last race of the regular season for the Cup Series, it's the Firekeepers Casino 400. Our airtime on Motor Racing Network is 2 p.m. So exciting times in the NASCAR world with all of the major tours in action this weekend as we roll into the fall and the playoff schedule. So you can find out all the details, get the finer points about the details and the schedule, go into MRN.com, click on the schedule, and there's even a reminder tab there. So it'll send you a notification when we are on the air. So we appreciate you doing that. And we love that you tune in to Motor Racing Network. And we love that you tune into Crew Call. Thanks to Chris Rice, president up at Kaulig Racing. But again, more important than all of that, we appreciate you tuning in and listening and watching, if you will, Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.